Mother of three sons, got deportation notice, but what happened next will touch your heart. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments where you're watching from so we can create content that resonates with our global audience. Now let's dive into this incredible story. In San Francisco, there was a small Chinese restaurant called Golden Dragon. The owner, Sarah Chen, was a loving mother of three boys. For 15 years, she worked hard to give her sons a better life in America. Her oldest son, Michael, was 19 and studying in law school. Jason was 17 and getting ready for college, and Kevin was 15 and loved playing piano. Every day, Sarah's restaurant was full of happy customers who loved her delicious food. The smell of her famous dumplings would make anyone's mouth water. Her regular customers weren't just customers anymore, they were like family. They watched her boys grow up and always praised Sarah for being such a wonderful mother. One normal Tuesday afternoon changed everything. Sarah was cooking her special hot and sour soup when she heard the mail arrive. Usually, she'd check it later, but something felt different that day. When she opened the mailbox, she found an official letter from immigration. Her hands were shaking as she read it. The letter said she had to leave America in 30 days. Sarah couldn't believe it. She remembered coming to America 15 years ago with her three little boys. They were running away from her abusive husband back home. Since then, she had followed all the rules, paid all her taxes, and built a good life here. How could this be happening? Michael saw his mom crying and rushed to help. When he read the letter, he immediately said, "Mum, don't worry. This must be a mistake. We'll fix this." His law school training made him ready to fight for his mom. Soon, all three boys gathered around their mother. The regular customers noticed something was wrong. Mrs. Rodriguez, who came for lunch every day for 10 years, was the first to help. She said her sister's husband was an immigration lawyer and called him right away. Mr. Thompson, a retired teacher who loved Sarah's wonton soup, started getting the community together to help. Even grumpy Mr. Peterson, who always complained about his food, stood up to support Sarah. But the real hero walked in later that evening. His name was James Morrison, a former immigration officer who had been quietly eating at Golden Dragon for 5 years. He always ordered Kung Pao chicken with extra peanuts and sat in the corner booth. That night, he stayed after closing time to help. James looked at all of Sarah's immigration papers and found something important. "Look here," he said, pointing to an old document. "Someone made a big mistake on your paperwork back in 2009. This wasn't your fault at all. We can fight this." Michael's eyes lit up with hope. "Really? We can help Mum stay?" James nodded but looked serious. "Yes, but we need to work fast. We only have 30 days. The next day, Sarah's restaurant became more than just a place for good food. It became a place where people came together to help save a family. Michael didn't go back to law school yet. He wanted to help his mum. Jason and Kevin worked harder in the restaurant so their mum could focus on fixing the immigration problem. The whole community came together like never before. Customers shared Sarah's story on Facebook and Instagram. Local TV news people came to tell her story. Soon, everyone in town was talking about saving the Golden Dragon restaurant and helping Sarah stay with her sons. The news about Sarah's situation spread quickly through San Francisco. Every day, more and more people came to Golden Dragon, not just to eat, but to show their support. The small restaurant that usually served 100 customers a day was now serving over 300. People would wait in long lines just to buy a meal and sign a petition to help Sarah stay. James Morrison, the former immigration officer, became like a guardian angel for the family. He spent his evenings at the restaurant working with Michael to build a strong case. They discovered that back in 2009, A tired immigration officer had put the wrong code on Sarah's paperwork. It was like putting the wrong address on a letter. The mistake wasn't Sarah's fault, but it was causing big problems now. One day, while going through old papers, Kevin found something amazing in their family photo album. It was an old receipt from when they first came to America. This small piece of paper proved that Sarah had actually filed another important document that the immigration office said was missing. "Mum, look what I found!" Kevin shouted excitedly. James looked at the receipt and smiled. This could be exactly what we need. The local Chinese community stepped up to help too. Mrs. Liu, who owned the grocery store next door, started a WeChat group that quickly grew to over 1,000 people. They all shared Sarah's story and collected signatures for the petition. Even the mayor's office called, promising to write a letter supporting Sarah. But not everything was going smoothly. Some people started saying mean things online, claiming Sarah didn't deserve to stay. This made Kevin really upset, but his brother Jason had a clever idea. He started making short videos about their family's life, showing how his mum helped the community. He posted about how she gave free meals to homeless people every Sunday, how she helped other immigrants learn English, and how she always donated food to local school events. These videos went viral. A famous YouTuber with millions of subscribers shared Jason's videos, and suddenly people from all over the country were sending messages of support. The hashtag #SaveGoldenDragon became so popular that even some Hollywood celebrities started tweeting about it. Michael worked day and night on the legal appeal. His law school professors were so impressed with his dedication that they offered to help pro bono, that means for free. They found 3 similar cases where families won their appeals because of paperwork mistakes. This gave everyone hope. Sarah tried to stay strong through all of this, but sometimes, late at night, her sons would find her crying in the kitchen. "What if they make me leave you?" she would ask. But her boys would hug her tight and promise they wouldn't let that happen. They reminded her of what she always told them. Family stays together no matter what. The community support grew bigger every day. Local restaurants, even though they were competitors, started a fundraiser to help with legal fees. Schools where Sarah's sons studied held special events to raise awareness. The local church, temple, and mosque all came together to hold a prayer vigil for the family. 20 days into their fight, something unexpected happened. A customer recognized James Morrison from his immigration officer days and remembered something important. This customer used to work in the immigration office too, and she remembered a special rule about single mothers who fled from abuse. She and James spent hours researching this rule, thinking it might be their secret weapon. Meanwhile, Jason's videos caught the attention of a national news network. They wanted to do a special report on Sarah's story. At first, Sarah was scared to be on TV. She always preferred to stay in the background. But her sons convinced her that sharing their story might help other families in similar situations. The TV interview was both heartbreaking and powerful. Sarah bravely told her story of escaping abuse, coming to America with 3 small boys, and building a new life from nothing. She talked about her love for her new country and how all she wanted was to keep her family together. By the end of the interview, even the tough news reporter had tears in her eyes. The response to the TV interview was incredible. Immigration lawyers from across the country offered to help. Politicians started asking questions about how many other families might be affected by similar paperwork mistakes. The story wasn't just about Sarah anymore. It was about fixing a broken system. With only 10 days left before the deportation deadline, things started moving really fast. The pressure was building, but so was the hope. Remember that special rule James and his former colleague found? Well, it turned out to be a game changer. The rule stated that victims of domestic violence who had built successful businesses and raised children in America could qualify for special consideration. Sarah's case was now getting attention from Washington, D.C. A kind-hearted senator who had eaten at Golden Dragon during a visit to San Francisco brought up Sarah's case during a committee meeting. He showed Jason's viral videos and talked about how this hard-working mother represented the true American dream. But the biggest surprise came from an unexpected hero, Sarah's oldest customer, 89-year-old Mr. Wilson. He had been quietly eating his egg drop soup at Golden Dragon every Wednesday for 15 years. One day, he came in with a stack of old photographs. These weren't just any photos, they showed Sarah helping during a big earthquake 7 years ago when she turned Golden Dragon into a temporary shelter and fed hundreds of people for free. These photos proved something important. Sarah wasn't just living in America, she was making America better. The immigration office couldn't ignore this. Local TV stations played the story of Sarah's earthquake, help over and over. People started calling her the Angel of Chinatown. With just 5 days left, Michael and James submitted their final appeal. It was a thick folder full of evidence, the old receipt Kevin found, proof of Sarah's community service, letters from hundreds of supporters, and documents about that paperwork mistake from 2009. They also included pictures of the long lines outside Golden Dragon, showing how many people were standing up for Sarah. The waiting was the hardest part. Sarah kept cooking, her sons kept helping, and the community kept praying. Then, just 2 days before the deportation date, Sarah's phone rang. The immigration office wanted to meet with her and her family immediately. Everyone was nervous walking into the immigration building. Sarah held her son's hands tight, just like she used to when they were little. James Morrison came too, wearing his best suit. The immigration officer they met was a serious-looking woman, but she had kind eyes. "Mrs. Chen," the officer began, "we've reviewed your case carefully." The room was so quiet you could hear everyone's hearts beating. "Your situation has brought attention to some serious problems in our system. We've found that the original error in your paperwork should have been caught and fixed years ago." Then came the words everyone was waiting for. "Your deportation order has been cancelled. Furthermore, due to your outstanding contributions to your community and the special circumstances of your case, we're granting you permanent residency." Sarah burst into tears. Happy tears this time. Her sons hugged her so tight she could barely breathe. James Morrison smiled proudly in the corner. Outside the building, a crowd of supporters had gathered. When Sarah walked out and gave them a thumbs up, the cheering was so loud it could be heard blocks away. That evening, Golden Dragon had its biggest celebration ever. The little restaurant was packed with people laughing, crying, and hugging. Sarah made her special dumplings for everyone. Local news crews captured the celebration, showing the whole city how community power and love could move mountains. The story didn't end there. Sarah's case helped change things for other immigrants too. The immigration office started reviewing similar cases where paperwork mistakes had caused problems. Jason's videos inspired other young people to speak up for their families. Michael decided to become an immigration lawyer to help other families like his. But the best part? Sarah and her 3 sons could stay together in the place they called home. Every year they celebrate what they call their Family Victory Day at Golden Dragon, serving free meals to remind everyone that when a community stands together, amazing things can happen. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next video.